To make sure these sacred stories from the past are never ever lost, and to preserve the legacy of the masters who walked this earth, follow Roy Adid. Together we're going to dive deep into these powerful histories.
And with those words, we begin our journey into the legend of the one they called the fierce tiger of the East. All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about Luang Pho Kong Suwannano from Wat Wang Sappharot in Chanthaburi province. Now, this isn't just any monk. His name, well, it's practically legendary, synonymous with this immense spiritual power. We're talking about a psychic energy so fierce and so unshakable, it was almost unbelievable.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that his legacy isn't just about performing miracles. It's really a testament to the sheer power of a mind that's been trained to a supreme level of focus, a mind that could command respect not just from people, but from the very spirits of the jungle itself. But, to really get a handle on the legend, we first have to understand the man. His journey to becoming a master started long before all the famous stories, rooted in a destiny that felt like it was set from the moment he was born. So he was born way back during the reign of King Rama V, and even as a kid, Luang Pho Kong was different. He just wasn't interested in the usual things. His mind was always on the Dharma. So after he was ordained, he dedicated himself completely. But the real key to his power? It was his relentless, intense practice of Vipassana meditation. That's how he unlocked such an extraordinary level of psychic awareness.
And it was this incredible mental discipline that gave birth to his most famous legends. You see, these stories weren't born inside a temple. They came from the deep, dangerous isolation of the wilderness, back when he was wandering as an ascetic monk.
Just try to picture it. A lone monk, traveling completely on foot through these dense, untamed jungles of Chanthaburi and even into Cambodia. This wasn't just some trip, it was the ultimate proving ground for his entire spiritual practice.
So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What happens when a man of peace, who's armed with nothing but his mind and his faith, comes face to face with one of the most powerful predators in all of nature?
He didn't fight, he didn't run, he just met the tiger's raw ferocity with this incredible, unshakable calm. He used the power of his trained mind to project boundless, loving compassion, what we call metta, and he pacified that great beast with his gaze alone. See, the crucial point here is that his power wasn't about aggression, it was about absolute peace.
Now, this total mastery over spiritual energy, this ability to tame a wild tiger with just pure intention, that was the energy he then channeled into creating some of Thailand's most revered and sought-after sacred amulets.
His most famous creations are all infused with these very specific spiritual properties, known as Putta Kun. For instance, his first edition coins and his Pitta amulets, they're known to grant the wearer a sense of authority and ward off disaster. His iconic tiger figures are legendary for their protective power, even said to make someone invulnerable to bullets and keep them safe from harm. And then there's his Palad Khik, known for bestowing great charm and loving kindness. And this quote just brilliantly sums up his entire philosophy. These objects were never ever about getting rich. They were tools. They were consecrated with his spiritual energy to give the person who held them inner power, authority, and the kind of virtue you need to get through life's biggest challenges. But really, beyond the incredible stories and the powerful amulets, the true heart of Luang Pho Kong's legacy is found in his teachings and the simple, humble example he set with his own life.
This right here is maybe his most important teaching. It's a call for balance. He's saying, yes, you should cultivate immense personal strength, be resilient, be powerful, but you have to make sure that strength is always guided by compassion, by virtue, and by wisdom. In other words, by the Dharma.
Even as his fame grew to these unbelievable heights, Luang Pho Kong just stayed completely detached from it all. He chose to live simply in a small hut, and his entire life was dedicated to just two things: going deeper into his meditation and helping anyone who came looking for his guidance.
So if you boil his entire life's work down to one single point, it's this. True power, real sacredness, it doesn't come from anywhere outside of you. It comes from within. He taught that a mind that's been purified of greed, anger, and delusion is the single greatest and most powerful force a human being can ever hope to achieve.
Then, in 1989, Luang Pho Kong peacefully passed away at his temple. And while his physical body left this world, his spiritual energy and the power of his teachings, they didn't go anywhere. They're still here, continuing to protect and inspire countless people to this very day.
And this is such a powerful idea to think about. His life was proof that genuine sacredness isn't something you find by asking or begging for miracles. It's something that's forged through the hard, dedicated work of self-cultivation, of practicing until you reach the very core of truth itself.
Ultimately, the story of Luang Pho Kong is a profound reminder for every single one of us. It shows that the human mind, when it's properly trained and disciplined, has this incredible power to transform our deepest fears into unshakable courage.
The great legends of this land are just so vast and filled with so much wisdom. It's really up to us to make sure these valuable stories of spiritual masters don't just fade away with time.
If you don't want to miss our next deep dive into these powerful chronicles, make sure you follow Roy Adit and turn on your notifications right now. If this story was valuable to you, a simple like helps us out a great deal. And remember, sharing this, well, that's a great Dharma gift in itself, helping to keep this sacred knowledge alive for generations to come. Thank you so much for joining us.